Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming here. If this is your first time at my channel, my name is Shay. I'm currently 5 weeks postpartum, and right now I just go over everything mommy related that I can think of and that you guys asked me to talk about. But once I get back into the groove and swing of things, I'll be hitting you guys with everything vegan, health and wellness related, fitness, anything that kind of touches on what I do in my life and how it fits my life. If it fits my lifestyle, I will do a video and talk about it for you guys. So if that's something that you're interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and if you're so inclined, go ahead and press that bell and you'll get a notification every time that I post new content. Today, as promised, I will be doing my breastfeeding tips video. So that'll include everything from actual breastfeeding from the breast and everything that I apply to my life when it comes to pumping. So right now I do have a lot of questions that my followers have sent in to me. Thank you guys so much for the content. I'll be going over those questions, and the way the questions are set up, I think I'm going to be touching on everything that you guys want to know about how I handle feeding Yogi. And again, if this is your first time here, Yogi is my 5-month-old son that I gave birth to via C-section. If you would like to listen to my birth story, go ahead and go to my video list and you can view parts 1 and 2 about my birth story, how Yogi came about via C-section. Oh, sorry guys, I thought I put my phone on do not disturb. My bad. Okay, anyway, so we're gonna go over what's on my cart, but first I'm gonna tell you what the cart is. This is my nursing cart, which basically has everything on it that I need to care for baby Yogi. So down to everything feeding related, changing his diapers, and down at the bottom are all of his bath time related things, which I won't be going over in this video, but if you guys want, I can do some kind of bath time video, which would be super cute and fun. So let me know, comment down below. But I'm gonna go over the questions that you guys sent in to me, which will touch on everything really on this cart. All right, so let's go ahead into the first question. All right, so dealing with soreness. She says she'll be a mom in a few months and she would love to hear of my advice about soreness. So that's such a good question. I have a lot of things that I use in regards to soreness, and soreness can develop itself in different ways when it comes to breastfeeding. So you can be sore at the actual breast, which I have experienced, and you can be sore at the nipple and areola area. So in the beginning it was horrible. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. It hurt, like mainly, and I'm not even gonna lie, mainly because Yogi's latch wasn't hitting right. So I did watch a couple videos after Yogi was born on different latching techniques, and you have to find what's right for you. The correct way is to make sure that not only the whole nipple is in his mouth, that also that some of the areola is in there. So I kind of like take my fingers, my thumb and my pointer finger, put it at the edge of my areola, kind of squeeze it like this, and really, I know it sounds harsh, but shove it in his mouth. Like, I want to make sure that as much of my nipple and some of areola is in his mouth as possible, so that he's not pinching the tip of my nipple. So that also will not allow him to get the maximum amount of milk out. So you want to make sure that latch is cool. Like, you want to make sure it's good, because if not, you're not going to enjoy breastfeeding. You're going to give up on the first week. Trust me, I was there. I had those thoughts. But here is some tips. Here's some tips right here, okay? Number 1, you want to make sure either you have some nipple cream, which I'm not going to talk down on nipple cream because right now I don't use it anymore, but I did use it in the beginning because I didn't have the tool that I'm about to show you. These are pure silver nipple covers. They're not nipple shields. This right here is a nipple shield. This is by Medela. I'm sure there are a couple different brands. I don't know if this is gonna focus. Not sure, but this is a nipple shield. It'll actually go over your nipple while you're feeding the baby, kind of like a bottle, almost like making your breast like a bottle kind of. This isn't open because I never had to use it, but these nipple covers are what I would basically use in place of a nipple cream. So after each feeding, I go ahead and it's like a little cup. They do come in a larger size depending on the size of your areola. It's by Silverette. I'll also put the link down in the description. But you literally just put it over your nipple after each feeding and let it chill. Like, you can also leave some breast milk on your nipple because breast milk, it heals everything. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the Greek father literally says Windex heals everything. Breast milk heals everything. But that's a whole nother video, and I may get into that if you guys are interested. But anyway, so yeah, you just put this on top. I don't need any nipple cream and then put the cover over. No, I just put it on while the breast milk is still on there. I mean, the nipple can be dry, but the pure silver properties heal your skin. And when I say a couple days after Yogi was born, my nipples were torn to shreds. I can't even imagine them getting to that point anymore. They were cracked, they were bleeding. It is still safe to breastfeed your baby when your nipples are bleeding. It's not ideal, of course, because your nipples need to heal and you will literally cry at each feeding, but it's not harmful to baby to feed him or her while you are in the process of healing your nipples. So if you ever want to take a break while your nipples are healing and maybe switch over to pumping, do that as well. But we want to try to stick to breastfeeding as much as we can. So use these covers and you're going to be all set. My nipples were healed after a week of consistently using these shields. I got relief after about 2 days and they were completely healed after a week. Boom. But if you don't have access to the Silverette covers, because I'm going to let you know right now, they are a little pricey. One set is $60, but if it's going to heal the nipples and the pain that I was in, I don't care what it costs, I was spending that coin. And plus, you're not spending money on formula. Like one can of formula, I think it's like 40 bucks. So I would rather do that, rather spend my money on the covers than go and buy formula. But that's just me. Like, a fed baby is the best baby. Like, I never ever say breastfeeding is better than formula fed babies, because I formula fed my first son. I lasted about maybe 2 months with breastfeeding, and I wasn't even exclusively breastfeeding when it came to my first son because I wasn't really educated. But a fed baby is the best baby. But if you are really determined on breastfeeding and you want to know everything you need to know about breastfeeding to make sure it's a smooth ride, there you go. So the next thing, like I said, if you don't want to spend your coin on the covers, we have some cream. So I was using 2 kinds of cream before, like I said, before I got the covers. I have some Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Nursing Butter. This was really good. And then also the cream that my hospital gave me, some lanolin. These are the old school gems. Like, they're one of the things that will never change. These will always help your nipples heal if you don't have access to the covers. Yes, they are safe to use while you are breastfeeding the baby. So if you put the cream on and then an hour later or even a couple minutes later, baby is hungry again, you know, that cluster feeding stage, you're okay. You don't need to wipe off your nipples. The ingredients in here is safe for baby. However, again, it wasn't really ideal for me. The thought of, you know, anything but my breast going into his mouth, you know, that's why I had to find another alternative, which is why these Silverette covers are the bomb. Another thing to heal painful nipples or cracked nipples, I'm going to put the link to these in, I think, yeah, these are by lanolin as well. These are cooling nipple pads. So literally, if they have like this gel on them, you can put them on the refrigerator to make them a little bit more cooler. But you would put these on, and these are amazing as well. They're a little cheaper. I think they're about $10 a pack. They only come with 2, so 1 for each nipple, 1 pair, but they're dope as well. I think that's it for making sure that your nipples, you know, are okay. Like I said, so that's the latch, the silverette covers, and the butter. That's really all you can do in regards to making sure your nipples don't get to a point where they're super unbearable. So making sure you put that cream on after every feeding. So not just when it feels super bad. You want to make sure you do it after every feeding. All right. So next question. All right, that was already a long response. So let's see how we can get through this. How often do you pump? Is your baby taking the bottle yet? So yes, he is taking the bottle. I let his dad feed him every once in a while, but it's not a constant thing. He probably has a bottle every couple of days because his dad wants to feed him, or maybe I stepped out of the house to go to the store, or I'm going to the market for an hour or two. That's when his dad will give him a bottle. I use MAM bottles. I also use a pacifier is always on this cart as well. And I also use MAM pacifiers. So I researched these pacifiers in bottles, and they were one of the top recommendations for breastfed babies so they don't get nipple confusion. If you look, I hate that it's not really, can't really focus that much, but if you look at the bottle, it's kind of shaped like the breast, and when baby latches on, he still latches on with those wide lips like that. You never want the baby to latch on like this, right? No, that's not a good latch. So you want to make sure that he puts his mouth on it like that and has his lips wide. But these bottles are the bomb. Yes, he does take the bottle and he takes it well. There's no problem right now with going back and forth between the bottle and my breast. How often do I pump? I definitely pump in the morning, every day. It's no question about that, because when I wake up in the morning, I am super full, whether Yogi is constantly feeding at night or not. I don't know what it is. It's just every morning I wake up and I am super engorged. So I need to make sure that I release all that and pump it out. My morning pump, I probably get about 7 to 9 ounces out, which is a lot in one pumping session. Please don't, you know, feel some type of way if you don't get that much. It differs for each mama, and I do want to let you know that your body is going to produce whatever amount of milk your baby needs. Feed the baby, don't feed the freezer. Yes, I pump, but only because I enjoy that, you know, that feeling that I am, you know, putting stuff into my freezer, making sure that if anything ever goes wrong with me or my body, even though I trust my body and trust that it's going to do what it needs to do to take care of my baby, I need to make sure that in my mind, if anything ever happens to me, he has enough milk to last him for a little bit. So yes, I pump. I'm not a religious pumper where I'm pumping, you know, every 3-4 hours. No, I don't do that. Maybe I pump about 2 to 3 times a day, but that's only because I feel super full. Sometimes I'm not on a schedule. Now when it comes to pumping, here we go, touching some more stuff on my cart. When it comes to pumping, here are some tools that I have. Number 1, if you are an exclusive pumping mama, some mamas can't get the latch down right, or baby just won't latch, that's fine. If you're an exclusive pumping mama, it's still breastfeeding. So let's not shame the pumping mamas, let's not shame the formula mamas, and let's not shame the exclusive breastfeeding mamas, because we get that too. And I'll touch on that because I have some questions on exclusively breastfed baby shaming. All right, I've heard that as well. But anyway, this is from La Vie. This is one of the tools that they have. The pack comes with 2. Okay, so these are massagers and warmers. So unfortunately, these are dead right now because I use them all the time and I forget to charge them. But they come with chargers. You turn them on, they get warm. Okay, so that warm helps that letdown. A letdown is when the milk comes down out of the breast. Helps with the letdown, and also massage. So it has 2 different massage settings, fast and slow. So you have those. that I use, I definitely suggest. It will also be in the description box. I'm actually just gonna put a link to my Amazon storefront, which has everything that I use for Yogi and have tried myself and swear by. Okay, so I have those, and then I have this one that I actually keep in the baby bag if I ever have an issue with clogged ducts. So I've never had an issue. I think it may be too soon right now. I may come in contact with clogged ducts. So clogged duct is when there's a spot on your breast. It's basically like a block of milk that just won't come down. So a massage really helps. So this is just a massager. It doesn't warm, but the tip of this vibrates. I think this one is actually charged. Hold on. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it has different massage settings. Okay, it goes high, super low. All right. I have also heard of women just using an electric toothbrush if you don't have access to tools like this. A vibrator, you know. Ain't no shame in the breastfeeding game, okay? We do what we gotta do to get some relief. So clogged ducts, massaging, and a warm compress helps, okay? And engorgement, oh, I left it in the freezer, but I do use some cold ice packs. They are by Lanolin as well, or Laniso, or Lansino. Sorry, can't get the name right. But anyway, they're cold packs. I keep them in the freezer. If I'm ever super engorged, I put them on my breast, and that gives me relief. Brings my breast back down to a softness, because engorgement is no joke. So that I use the massagers I use while pumping. So I'll have the pump on and I'll have the massagers. These are like shaped in a way where you can stick them in your nursing bra like this. Boom. And let it go. All right. Also for pumping, which I hang on the side of my nursing cart, I have my hands-free nursing bra. Okay, this is by Medela. These bras are only specific to the Medela pump. I use a Spectra, which won't fit in here unless I actually cut the hole. So I had to cut the hole a little bit so that I'm able to slip the shield inside and be able to use the pump. But if you are a exclusive breastfeeding mama, you need one of these bras. Boom. All right. So I think I touched on that. I will go over my pump settings in a few. I'll do that toward the end of the video because that part is a little lengthy. And the next one. All right. How did you know how to get into a routine with pumping at night or pumping at all? Like I said, I'm not on a routine with pumping because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So right now I don't feel the need to make sure that there is a set amount of breast milk set aside for Yogi. So I'm not on a schedule. I literally just pump when I feel engorged or need relief. But that morning session is a must. And I'll probably say right before bed is a must as well because I want to make sure I go to bed comfortable. All right. Any letdown tips for pumping? Yes, the massagers that warm is a tip. So that is a must. You don't necessarily have to have this tool, but some kind of massaging. You can actually just use your hand as well, massage at the top, and it doesn't have to be, you know, super uncomfortable. So it's really just, you know, getting that milk flowing. Just massage the top of your breast or around your areola, get that milk going. And also oxytocin is super important. Of course, that's the hormone that's released to get the milk to let down. So if you're an exclusive breastfeeding mama, maybe you're at work breastfeeding or out, a big tip with getting that oxytocin flowing, which is the happy hormone, you know, maybe have some pictures of baby, some videos of baby to watch, and that will get that milk to come down. A warm compress, something warm on your breast, but that tool is a really good tool to have. All right, here we go. Another question: your thoughts on covered versus uncovered? I think we've all heard this before. If you're not sitting at the dinner table with a cloth over your head eating, I'm not putting a cloth over my baby. So if I was at a restaurant actually last week with my family, Yogi got hungry, whipped that joint out. No, I'm not covering it. I'm hot because my postpartum hormones make me high. I feel like I am, you know, during menopause. I'm in a menopause phase or something like that. So I'm not making myself any more uncomfortable to feed my child, and I'm not making my child uncomfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable, it's time for you to move away from me. So no, I do not cover my baby when I'm out in public. Sorry, not sorry. What do you do for clogged ducts? So I went over this before. It's on my nursing cart. I use a massager. Like I said, I haven't had to experience clogged ducts yet, but if I do, I am equipped. So you either can use an electric massager, you can use an electric toothbrush to kind of touch on those points. So you will really just hold it on where you feel that tightness and get that milk to flow out of there. I've also heard of hanging breastfeeding. So you would basically like kind of get on all fours over top of your baby and hang your breast over top of their mouth and let them feed. I know it sounds weird, but that will also loosen up. You just want to try different angles to feed the baby to get that duct unclogged. Is it painful? Also touched on this as well. In the beginning, yes, it was painful. It doesn't have to be. So if you make sure that you have someone by your side, like a licensed lactation consultant, to help you out with that initial latch, make sure everything is all good. It doesn't have to be painful. And then if you have the cream right away, you making sure you're using it right away on your nipple. But the key is a good latch. So you want to make sure that if you feel like your baby is not latching right, go ahead and make sure you see a professional about that. Any type of pinching sensation is not normal, so see a professional about the latch. I don't want the latch to hurt your breastfeeding experience. So do what you have to do. I literally sometimes in the first sessions was crying. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. At first I was a little scared to ask for help. Not necessarily scared, but I thought in my mind, because of all the research that I did, which I did do a great amount of research, that I didn't need help. So I felt as though if I was doing this, then something's maybe wrong with me or wrong with my baby. I don't know if it was a tongue tie issue. So all of those factors, a breastfeeding lactation consultant can help you with. All right. Another painful question, I just touched on that. Will the milk come after the baby is born, if not came yet? I'm 34 weeks and I'm not even leaking. I thought the same thing just for a little while after, but of course, like I said, I was reading on breastfeeding, watching every kind of video I could during my pregnancy. You do not have to leak. That is not a forecast on how your milk will produce. So your milk is let down the moment you give birth to your placenta. So that's even after, of course, the baby is born. Once those hormones are released out of your body after giving birth to the placenta, that is when the milk kicks into gear. So, and even still, it's colostrum. So if you do your research on colostrum, you know what it is. It's that first kind of drop of milk that starts to come, and it literally comes in little tiny drops, but it's just enough for your newborn baby, and he will be fed in the amount that he should. I believe Yogi maybe lost about 2 ounces while we were still in the hospital for those 2 days, but gained a pound once we got back home in a week and a half. So the milk will come. The milk fully comes in not even right after the birth. It's about 3 or 4 days. So between birth and those 3 or 4 days, you're only producing colostrum. It's not actual breast milk. So don't be discouraged if you're not leaking right now at 34 weeks. That you still have so much time, and if you don't leak at all, it's not, you wouldn't even leak. Like you would have to actually squeeze your breast and you know, kind of like hand express which I don't suggest because that could put you into preterm labor, for milk to come out. So wait for baby to come. If your milk does not fully come in after 3 to 4 days after giving birth, then I would seek some professional assistance. But don't be stressed out if your milk is not coming out, because it's not supposed to at that point, okay? How often do you switch sides? I have an overproducing boob, breast right here. So at first I was switching sides every feeding. So the first feeding I would, for example, go on the right side, and then if he did want to go back to my breast, I would put him on the opposite side, but still each feeding start him on the opposite breast that I started him on the previous feeding. However, right now he likes this one. It's the one that produces the most. It's very, very normal to have a breast that produces more than the other one. Literally, if I took my top off right now, you guys would see which breast is my more producing breast. It's super weird. My partner has actually even gotten used to it. Whatever, this is what my baby likes. This is what feeds my baby. I'm not worrying about the way my boobs look right now. So yes, I did switch sides in the beginning. Now it's basically I do the touch test. So I'll go like this. Which boob feels more full? Hey, you need to start off on the fuller boob because this is the one I need relief on right now. And if baby gets full during that feeding, if I need to, I'll go ahead and pump out the other one to get some relief if I need to. But most of the time, you know, it's basically a touch and go situation. So whichever one is fuller, that's which one he's gonna get fed off of. Can you breastfeed with nipple cream on? Does it affect the baby? Yes and no, it does not affect the baby. So yes, you can breastfeed with nipple cream on. Do you ever pump and let others feed with the bottle? Yes, I do. I touched on that as well. My partner or whoever, if my mother-in-law is here, she'll feed him as well. If my mom is here, she'll feed him. But I use the man bottles, and he has not gotten confused. Next question, which is the last one. How do you clean it? I'm guessing you mean how do I clean my breast pump. I didn't bring my parts for this video, but the breast pump, I guess I can use my manual, which I'll go over this as well. It comes apart. Hot water and antibacterial soap is what I use. Nothing crazy. They clean pretty easily. You always want to also make sure you clean your flaps. So this part right here, the Medela has these kind of flaps. My Spectra pump has a duck bill, which I wish I could show you, but I didn't bring to show you guys, sorry. That comes apart as well. You pull it off and just rinse it and wash it with antibacterial soap and hot water, okay? Real quick, because like I said, I didn't want to make this video of the length of a movie film, but I'll go over my breast pump. All right, this is the Spectra. All right, I use the Spectra pump. No rhyme or reason why I initially picked it. I'm glad I did, but my first pregnancy I used the Medela breast pump, and I just wanted to try a different pump. But the Medela breast pump and the Spectra are super similar. So if you have a Medela, you can go off of these tips as well. So when I first started breast pumping with my first son, I did it completely wrong, and I'm sure a lot of mamas have gone through this as well. When you turn on the pump and just turn the vacuum up really high and just leave it like that, that will rip your nipple to shreds and ruin your breast pumping journey. So don't do that. You want to make sure with the Spectra it doesn't automatically go into letdown mode. So letdown mode is the simulation that the baby is at the breast initially trying to get milk out. So those are short, quick pumps, and you really only need to be in the letdown mode for about 2 to 3 minutes. So you'll turn it on. The Spectra, you need to press the letdown button. Once you get the milk to let down and it starts flowing, you press the letdown button again, and it'll give you those long, slow pulls for extraction mode to extract the milk on it, okay? So you want to do that for however amount of time you need to do that. You can do the same for the Spectra, as well as the Medela pump. But the Medela pump automatically goes into letdown mode. After 2 or 3 minutes, it'll switch over to extraction mode automatically. But the Spectra does not. So you'll have to put yourself in extraction mode. You can play around with the cycle button. The cycle button will change the pattern of the slow pull. So it'll be a quick slow pull or a slow pull. All right. You'll get it once you get the pump and realize what I'm talking about. But the vacuum just changes how hard it's sucking. Again, don't turn it all the way up to a point where you can't take it. That's not going to affect your milk output. It's not going to make you extract more milk. And by the way, a baby extracts milk better than any pump. So they are more efficient at extracting their milk from the breast than a pump. But of course, the pump is helpful in so many ways. So again, the vacuum button will help with the hardness of the pull, or how hard it's pulling. Okay. And there's also a little cute light on the Spectra pump. So if you're pumping at night, there's a night light on here. It has 2 settings for high and low. And then on the back of this, it holds the bottle. But people in the breastfeeding world or pumping world like to joke that this is for snacks, which I have used it for snacks. I've also used it to put pacifiers in. He doesn't use his pacifier, it was just there. But I've also used it to maybe just sit a pacifier there if he's sitting with me. I'll sit my nipple shields in there if I'm taking them off, to put them right back on after my pumping session. But there you go. For the most part, I do power pumping sessions, which the first round of pumping, I'll pump for 20 minutes or until there's no more milk flow. Rest for 10, go back on the pump to pump for 10 minutes, rest for another 10, and then back to pump for the last 10 minutes. So that is an hour session. If you are an exclusively breastfeeding mama, those power sessions are key to making sure your breasts are completely empty and getting your maximum output of milk. So the most asked question, one of the most asked questions that I get is, how do you keep up your supply? Do I take any supplements to keep up my supply? No. So I would say the biggest tip I would have on making sure your supply is up is feeding on demand. So whenever you see those feeding cues, just feed the baby. So that is a clenched fist, nibbling at the hands, obviously crying, and then obviously time. So if you know that you haven't fed your baby in 4 hours and they're kind of cranky or fussy, baby of course is probably hungry, so feed. So I know there are a bunch of apps or tips out there on keeping baby on a schedule or feeding, making sure your baby eats every 3 to 4 hours. But if baby is showing those cues, I don't care if it was 20 minutes after your last feeding, go ahead and feed baby again. There's also stages called cluster feeding where baby will probably be at the breast every 20 or 30 minutes. If baby is hungry, feed baby. That will get your supply up. But you will always produce as much milk as your baby needs. Now, those exclusive breastfeeding mamas, if you need to be producing milk, of course you're going to be on a schedule. So you want to make sure that you are actually pumping or at your breast pump at least every 3 to 4 hours to keep your supply up. Especially when you go back to work. I know it's super hard, but it is a law, a mandate, that your employer provides you with the time and the space to be able to go and breastfeed. Whether it's for, of course, for 15 or 20 minutes, they are legally obligated to give you a space to breast pump and the time during your shift to breast pump. So I'm not sure if this is a big factor in regarding how much milk I'm producing, but I do take my placenta vitamins that were made out of my placenta. Again, they're from Lancaster placenta. I'm not sure how people get their stuff to focus. I'll figure that out on a later date. But yes, I take these vitamins, about 2 to 3 capsules every day, and I am also still taking my prenatal vitamins, so I take those every day as well. Placenta pills have been shown to help with milk production. I don't think that is a big determining factor on why I'm producing as much milk as I am. But at a later date, when I stop taking my placenta pills, because these are not forever, I only was given, or I was only able to be made 148 capsules. So these will be out in the next month and a half. So I'll let you guys know, give you an update on how my milk production is after I stop taking these. But I don't take any other kind of lactation cookies or pills, whatever is out there that is said to produce more milk. I don't do it. I'm not on any special, I'm not eating anything special as far as my diet. I am vegan. I also don't think that is a big determining factor on how much milk I'm producing. Now, the quality or kind of milk that comes out, of course, it's probably different, has probably different vitamins in it or more, so whatever the case. So anything out there that is stating that it's supposed to give you more milk, I can't speak on. All right. But I think that's it in regards to milk production. The biggest thing, like I said, feed on demand. That's the best you can do, and stay hydrated. I do drink water a lot during the day. I also drink my coconut water drinks, which it has electrolytes in it, which is said to, well, is proven to keep you hydrated. It's not proven to actually give you more milk per se, but if you're hydrated, that of course translates into your milk production. So drinking coconut water with that has a bunch of electrolytes in it is a big help. I'll also leave the link in the description box on what coconut water I use, because I hate the taste of coconut water, but the water that I drink, it's called Greater Than, it's flavored, it's so good. So it's mixed with a bunch of other things in it, and you don't even realize that you're drinking coconut water. But I think that's it on milk production. Last thing that I'm gonna go over is the manual pump. This one I use in my car or late at night if I don't feel like setting up my breast pump, or if I haven't set it up before I went to bed. Works the same way as an electric pump. You have the simulation mode, so you want to make sure right here are those quick pumps, okay? And then once you get that letdown going, you switch over to the big handle. All right, so you want to get that milk flowing first, as if baby is at the breast trying to get the milk out, and then switch over to the long, slow pulls, okay? And I don't want to see any of this, all right, with your manual pump. Clean it, like I said, the same way as you would for your electric pump, all right? Quick touch on milk storage. The CDC does have breast milk guidelines that you can go ahead and look at as well. I do go off of those guidelines. You want to make sure that the fridge, you're only putting milk in the refrigerator, room temperature milk. Say, for example, I just pumped freshly expressed milk. I want to get it to the fridge within 2 to 3 hours. It can only stay in the fridge, and that's at the back of the fridge, for about 3 to 4 days. It can stay in the freezer for 6 to 9 months, and you want to make sure that you are labeling and dating your breast milk in the freezer. I like to put what I was eating during that day, the time that I pumped, and how much is in the bag in ounces. So I'll do that. Like I said, 6 to 9 months in the freezer. Room temperature, freshly expressed milk. Even after you thaw it out, 3 to 4 hours. Out in room temperature. And after you thaw and warm milk, do not refreeze it. So if baby did not finish the milk, throw it out. if your baby is still young and you're exclusively pumping, or you know, you're breastfeeding and pumping it combined, you want to make sure that you don't put the maximum amount of milk in the bag, because there's a chance that your baby might not drink it all and you waste milk. So if you have to, split up the bags and make sure maybe there's only about 2 or 3 ounces in each bag. Don't put your entire bottle that you pumped, which in these bottles is about 5.5 ounces. So don't put your whole bottle that you pumped in one bag and then you thaw it out and baby doesn't drink it all. All right, so I think that's it. I'll touch on my nursing cart. So like I said, the top has really everything that I need for nursing or breastfeeding. The bottom has everything I need for changing Yogi's diapers. So I have my diapers back here, my wipes. Over here on the side, I have some breast pads. So for leaking, I really haven't had to use these a ton. Really, because in the beginning and even now, I don't leave the house. So if I leak on my shirt, it's just gonna be leaked, you know. So I've actually reused shirts over and over again because they have breast milk stains on them. So I don't want to keep ruining my shirts. So, and these are kind of annoying to keep on. So I don't use them a lot. I have Yogi's electric nail file, which I will be doing a video on everything you thought you didn't need but you need for newborn. So I'll be doing a video on that. And then at the bottom I have what I use to give Yogi a bath. One last thing. So I was gonna say Yogi. So your breastfeeding clothing, just making sure everything is loose and boob accessible. So I love this shirt right here. This shirt I got from American Eagle. It comes in like 5, 6, 7 different colors. It is a Henley. It buttons all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but it buttons just enough so I'm just able to like boop, pull the boob out. It has like little thumb holes. It's super soft and comfortable. But yeah, like I said, it's from Erie. I got them in every color when they were on sale over the holiday. But get you a Henley. It doesn't necessarily have to be from Erie, but if you type in Henley anywhere, it'll be the same style. Nice and loose, comfortable loungewear. I'll be in the house. I can actually wear this outside the house and not look crazy. So I think I've touched on everything. If you guys have any additional questions when it comes to breastfeeding, if I didn't answer a question that you wanted me to answer, go ahead and comment down below. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you feel so inclined, go ahead and press that bell and you will be notified on my next video posting. Thanks for coming. Bye.